Welcome to Bits and Bones. I am Mortheous, and with me tonight we have Joe and Sam. We may have other visitors tonight. That's currently a three man show tonight. How are you gentlemen tonight?
I'm
Drink,
doing well. I'm
drinking
doing well.
margaritas.
I'm doing well, sir. Happy birthday, Mr.
Thank you, sir.
Mortheous.
I'm currently eating some leftover birthday cake and drinking some uh, uh, what orchard hard cider. Having a blast today, honestly.
That's
Maybe a little more lit than normal, like I was telling you guys.
that's fine. It's your birthday. You deserve it. Um, and before I kind of begin the show, I just wanted to kind of you know, in the spirit of Mort's birthday, I said I have a Sam monologue, Mort.
Do it.
So you know, for those watching and for those who watched the Whitfield report, um, one of the reasons, I mean, as much as Mort and I, bust each other's balls, and we do, on a regular basis, I really do admire Morpheus and, who he is as a person. And one of the reasons why I admire him is it's very rare, um, to be able to find someone who is also disabled and yet has the same positive attitude, about life, and who can also, like, take a joke and not be super, sensitive about everything. Um, I've been in quote unquote disability support groups and et cetera, and most of them are just a real, uh, you know, bummer. And but Moore is one of the only people I know who struggles with the similar day to day things that I do, and yet keeps a positive attitude and kind of has the same. It is what it is, and you make the best. Situation of it. And, and yet, like, he's also just a normal guy who I can talk to about normal stuff as well. And, really appreciate you for that, man. So,
Thanks, Sammy. And I feel the same about you as well, because I've just like you, I've experienced the disabled support groups, and almost every single one is woe is me, poor is me. I was dealt with a shitty fucking hand. I don't believe in God. If there was a God, why would he make people suffer? Blah blah blah. Yada 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 yada. If there is a God, it's not the God that's my family believes in. Blah blah blah. Um, yeah, I don't mean to drag people down at all. Again, that's not my style. I just want to piggyback off of your monologue a little bit. Like, yeah, it's just I don't understand the poor me mentality. Do I get down from time to time? Sure, but that's when
oh,
I
yeah.
either turn to video games and lately play fucking Witcher or Cyberpunk, or I pick up one of my six string ladies and literally play until my fucking fingers hurt.
Yeah. Um, I mean, the other thing about the support groups, I don't know if you feel the way, but like some of them, I'm not exaggerating. Like some of them, I've wanted to put a gun in my mouth and just pull
Oh yeah,
pull
I
the
completely understand that mentality because it's because all you hear from the support groups is the "what woe with me," why was I dealt such a shitty hand stories from everybody going around in the circle. I'm like, come the fuck on, people. You literally have no good stories from your childhood or your family or whatever, friends, whatever.
Yeah, well, like, all of, like, the really shitty experiences that, like, I've had as a kid are, like that, like, traumatized me are, like, my parents' divorce and, like, the fact that, like, unfortunately, my dad and I don't have my biological dad and I don't have, a great relationship. Right, but it's nothing that, like, really has to do with my disability by and large. It has been, like, a real negative in my life. Like, all the negative shit that I've had to deal with is the same negative shit that everyone else does, like losing relatives,
Right,
uh, most recently, losing, someone I considered a friend and a colleague with Charlie Kirk, and, I don't wanna say that's normal, stuff, but, like, it's not related to my disability,
right,
so it's like
and that's another thing that you and I have in common is not the best situation as far as biological fathers. Literally, the only time that I met mine was back in I want to say 98 or 99, back when I had my scoliosis correction surgery, because my grandparents literally they were coming up for a visit to visit me and other family at the time, and they literally had to drag the fucker up with them to fucking come physically meet his eldest son, because the piece of shit had me and three other youngers.
yeah. I mean, so, we would relate to that as well, but, like, like, I'm not saying it that's
Again, that has nothing to do with our disability. It's just we have a shitty father,
yeah, I mean, and yeah,
and unfortunately,
so
that's
no, go ahead.
nothing less normal to have.
You're getting rumbled, Mort. I think Mort got rumbled.
Yep, Mark out rumbled. I'm back.
Yep. Well,
I got
you,
rumbled right at the end of it's less normal these days that become a intact normal intact nuclear family than it is to be in Samurai's situation.
to answer, I have to add a little bullet point on both of what you guys said about the unfair God thing. If we had a perfect life here, we would never appreciate being in the presence of God in heaven when we physically passed away.
True that.
And that's what a lot of people don't grasp. Like, we are not going to have a perfect life here.
Right. We're not going to have a perfect life. And what I've come to realize, even though I'm not technically a practicing Catholic, I've come to the realization and the okay mental state in my life that whatever higher power it is that there is up there, that he wouldn't have handed me the shitty situation that I'm in if he didn't think I could handle it.
Yep, I've been told I've come to believe that too. I mean, like, I was told that when I was, younger, and that was always one of those things where it was like, you know, it was like, "Well, that's easy for you."
That's easy for you to say because you're not in the pile of shit.
Right, um, and but, like, yeah, they were, my pastor at the time who told me that, like, he was right. Um, and the other thing is, like, I don't think without the bad times, I don't think you appreciate the good times
Right.
as
Exactly. It ain't all sunshines and rainbows.
And all in all, I've had a pretty fantastic life. Like I said, part of the reason why I don't bitch as much as I probably could is because overall I have a pretty good life. And sure, I didn't have a quote unquote biological father figure, but my poppy on my mom's side was basically my quote unquote biological father figure. For the first couple of years of my life, we lived with grandma and grandpa.
yeah, I mean, my uncle Gary, who, ironically is my biological father's brother, he and I were very close, and, um, so, for a long time, like, he was in my life, and, um, and then, like, sadly, I lost him to alcoholism, which was, his own fault, too, but that's kind of another subject for another time. But then my stepdad, who I've known since I was a kid, he's always been there, and I think I've kind of like embraced him more, and within in the past like decades. So he's a great guy as well. So yeah, I mean, you find the blessings where they are. So, but
Absolutely.
anyway, though, well,
Anyway, we kind of know what Sam and I did as far as Thanksgiving goes because we talked about it on Wednesday during the Whitfield report. But what sort of traditions does your family have there, Joe?
Well, we did something a little new this year. Typically, since I moved to Mass, from like New Hampshire, typically I used to spend it with like my brother, and then the first few years of my kid's life, we would go over to my wife's cousin's house. But we decided to stay home this year, and we had our neighbors over who we're really close with, and we just ate a bunch of food and uh, drank a few margaritas. We just didn't feel like driving an hour and a half away to like three towns over. That's how it is in Mass. I'm sure Max would be like, "Yeah, you drive two towns away. It could take you an hour." It's that's just how it is like that for some reason around here. But um, my wife was just like, "Well, we'll just hang out here," and we had that late dinner. I am looking forward to Christmas. I would like to do like a small prime rib roast and stay here again. I'm fine with that. It's starting to get to the point where we stay here, and if people want to hang out with us, they can come to us.
Yeah, understandable. Yeah, we had a good day yesterday. It was mom, stepfather, us four kids, and the significant others of my brother-in-law and my sister-in-law, along with a little dude, which is brother sister-in-law. Little dude didn't stay all that long. They kind of stayed for dinner and then skedaddled. But what time we all did get to spend together was nice.
That's good. Gotta have a little family time. Like, oh,
Oh
my
yeah.
mother-in-law came over yesterday. Um, I mean, she's the closest one to my family anyway, so gotta have that little bit of family contact. Not too much though, 'cause he'll drive you crazy.
Oh yeah, definitely.
yeah, um, for us it was me, my mom, my stepdad. We hosted, and then our next door neighbor, Richard from California. Um, Based Richard from California, as I call him. He joined us. My grandma joined us, and then my step grandmother, my grandfather's late wife joined us.
Nice.
And she's the wife of the grandfather who I was eulogizing when I got
When the channel got nuked.
yeah. So and she brought me a few of his items that she was ready to part with. So that was very special as well.
That's cool.
So yeah. So all in all, it was just a blessed day. So
Absolutely.
but it's your show, man. So I've said my piece with the sentimental stuff. What about you? And
Yeah, I don't know if any of us partake in the Black Friday shopping shenanigans after Turkey Day, but
No.
I think I may have told this story on the Whitfield report at some point. If not, uh, Bits and Bones exclusive. I used to work at Target back in the day, back when the original 360 launched. Literally
Yeah.
only had I literally only had 3 consoles for the entire store, and
Holy shit.
I was the fitting room slash uh, customer service person for the phones that year, and boy were people fucking pissed when they heard we only had 3 copies.
That's crazy. Yeah, it was their 20th anniversary a few days ago, wasn't it?
I think so, yeah.
20th and holy fuck, that means the PS3 is also. Oh, we're getting old, boys.
Oh yeah, 40 fucking 2 over here.
Yeah. Yeah, don't remind me. Hey, at least I don't have gray hair. That's all I'm not complaining here. My
Yep.
cousin's 3 years younger than me, and he's fucking bald and has gray hair all over his beard. I'm like, well, it sucks to be you, dude. You're the one that had a kid at 16. Don't fucking yell at me.
Well, you say that, Joe, and with my friends and siblings that have kids, I'm like having kids prematurely ages you.
I think it does. The I mean, I notice it with all my friends and all my family that had kids at a younger age. Like my
Right.
sister's 40, she'll be 40, she just turned 48. And she doesn't look 48. I mean, then again, I haven't like actually seen her face to face in a few years, but she's always looked pretty well for her age. But she did it in her 20s. She didn't do it early. Um, she married the guy and then had kids, unlike the rest, me and my brother. But
Goddamn
even
horse.
even although it's weird, even my brother, he didn't have kids early, but he did have kids. Maybe it was because he was having kids with a crazy bitch.
That'll do it. But yeah, as far as grades, thankfully I'm nowhere near bald. But when I let my beard grow, like half of it is gray, half of it is super dark. So it's like that Italian super dark brown.
Yeah,
Oh, so you've got the silver fox beard.
Yeah, I've got the silver fox salt and pepper thing going on.
hey, I'm not trying to diss anyone that does. Like, I just, they were like, yeah, by the time you're in your 40s, you're going to be bald. Because they told me I'd be bald if I kept wearing my hat. Guess what? Still wearing my hat, and my fucking hair is 6 inches long.
My
Kiss my ass.
I've literally been wearing fucking fedoras and fucking trilbies and shit since I was in my late 20s, and I still have my full head of hair. So
I'm not saying I do have a couple of white hairs coming out of the beard, but that's like seriously a couple out of this big. Nobody can see it right now, but big, bushy, red, dark brown beard. And I ain't bitching.
and what I've come to realize the last probably 6 to 12 months is the female friends that I have around me they kind of get pissed when I do this thing every so often where I'll let the beard grow for 6 to 8 weeks, and at that point, again, because I'm Italian, I've got a nicely shaped beard and whatnot, and then they all get fucking pissy at me because I, I I let it go because then again 6 to 8 weeks it feels like a fucking animal on your face, so it's got to go. So yesterday, yesterday morning before going to mom's for Thanksgiving, the fucking animal went, and all the female friends are like, "Mort, where'd your beard go?" I'm like, "It went down the drain, motherfuckers."
So you do what I do, where you just wait and then you shave the whole thing.
Oh yeah, and it literally looks like I just shaved the goddamn animal.
Jeez,
Well,
it's gonna look like a fucking shaved
yeah.
fucking cat when I'm done here. If I
Well,
do it.
so a little bit of Sammy lore. So I actually get my beard trimmed, right? Or I guess like trimmed up like when I go to get my hair cut
Nice.
on occasion. And uh and so it was and so Mersh like found that out and he was making
He
fun
was
of it. He's
nice to
like
you.
he was like making fun of, oh, Sam claims to be a manly man, but he gets his beard trimmed. And it's like, well, yeah, because like, you know, my hands are, you know,
Kind of fucked.
Not only that,
yeah,
Sam, and I'll defend you on this point, but it's kind of hard to do it yourself in a fucking mirror. Other
it is.
people have a better advantage point. I'm telling you right now.
Yeah, I mean that. I mean, my hands actually work pretty well, like compared to most people with cerebral palsy. But like, yeah, that's the other thing too is like all my friends who like don't have issues. They're like, yeah, like I showed them I showed them the video of like Merge making fun of that, and they're like, I don't see what he's talking about. Like, it's not like his beard is looking great or anything. And also, yeah, it is pretty fucking hard. So
And I
What's
don't have
funny is
cerebral palsy, and
our disability beards look better and more fresh than fucking merch. So eat a dick, merch.
God, I can't imagine what
yeah.
this guy looks like.
You've never
He looks like a more alcoholic DSP.
Well, fuck, I don't want to see that.
Joe, just picture the loudest, most obnoxious, like New York Italian, like tough,
Asshole.
like like the Italian guys who like claim to be like who claim to be like macho tough guys, but it's like all bravado.
Yeah.
Like I'm sure you've run in. That's Merch is that guy on steroids.
Oh, nice.
So yeah.
Yeah, yeah. This whole trimming your own beard thing is not all it's cut up to be. And that is a bad pun, but it's not all it's cut up to be because it pisses me off, and that's why I have a big ass beard because I hate trying to line it off my chin because I'll look at it and overanalyze it and say, oh, that doesn't line up. So if someone else does it, it's going to line up right, but nobody wants to touch this big bush.
Yeah, well plus like, I'm an author, I'm not a math guy, so, far be it from me to do measurements.
Right. I've tried to like measure it out with like
I'm
try
I'm
to get
I'm a,
that.
I'm an unintentional math guy because I'm a music guy.
Well, yeah, maybe that's why. Maybe that's motivation to like pick up an instrument again. So
Plus, I like my dad beard, so everyone can just fucking suck it. Because if I do shave, it's gonna be back. If I don't keep on top of it, like literally twice a day, it's gonna be
yeah,
back fast.
yeah, that's the same with mine, right? So
Yeah, one. Yeah,
And
I guess
I'm the same
my
way. If I when I do go super smooth as far as shave job, literally by like 2 or 3 o'clock that afternoon, literally have that fucking 5 o'clock shadow. And it's not even
yeah,
five
it's
o'clock
like
yet.
yeah. Now, see, what would be nice is if they made if they made like a hair tonic, like in Red Dead Redemption, where I could just like keep my 5 o'clock shadow permanently, because like that would be, you know, the women love that, right? So I wouldn't necessarily mind that,
Facts.
but trying to keep that like all the time is just like, yeah, that's not gonna, you know, that's not
For
gonna.
me, it would be possible, but it's a bitch to fucking keep up with it, and I just don't have that kind of motivation.
yeah, it's a pain in the ass. Plus,
Maybe if there was a
razors
late,
now
late,
are fucking
late
expensive.
but
Yeah.
But yeah. So, is there any video game news this week?
Oh yeah, there's a couple things that I wanted to touch on this week. First thing I wanted to touch on was a game that I've been hearing a little bit about this week. It's called Where Winds Meet. Literally know nothing about it, but I pulled up the website, so I'll pull that up and look at this trailer. I'm not sure if it's out yet or not, but I'm hearing good things from the people that are mentioning it. So let's pull this up. Can you hear it?
Yep.
Yeah, I can hear it.
I don't. Do you know the road up ahead? Who are you?
Excuse.
Same as you. A wanderer. A guest in dreams. Yet unaware. This time, I'll be the villain.
But I have been on this path too long now.
Come on.
But I have been on this path too long now. The street was filled with ghosts. Too long now. The street was filled with ghosts.
Without a single voice. You call yourself the god of treasure? Without a single coin, you call yourself the god of treasure?
I'll give you one more chance. Go on. Kill me.
All right, fuck the video. Let's go through this video. Let's go to the website. Open world. Let's see. Yeah. What? Seems like eight bosses throughout the game, or at least what they've revealed right now. Weapons we've got sword, spear, fan, maul blade, dual blades, umbrella, uh, rope dart. That could be cool. Let's see if we can actually get the video there.
So I've noticed this trend where like all these other game developers have like ever since Ghost of Tsushima came out, like all these other game developers have like tried to copy.
Right.
It.
It seems to be it's a mix of Ghost of Tsushima and Monkey Game that came out last year.
Yeah. Honestly, though, like with the way Ghost of Yotai turned out, like, yeesh. I'm like, okay, other companies.
I'm not sure. Right. Not sure if it's a trend that I would want to go down, unless you're really confident and not and definitely not going the woke route, because
Well,
go the woke route is gonna flop.
well, yeah, that's just it. That's why I don't give these other companies like a hard time anymore because I'm like, okay, if you guys can also do a good samurai game but not go woke, then like have at it. That's my approach.
Agreed. But as soon as you go woke, I'm like, okay, then I'm even if I started playing it and enjoyed it, I'm done. But yeah, it's just I guess it's saying that it's on PC and on Steam now, so I guess it released recently. Gonna have to do a little bit more research after this show, but just everything I just between late Tuesday, Wednesday, and some of yesterday, I'm, like keep hearing this game Where Winds Meet. Like sounds interesting. I like what we saw of the video uh, before my computer decided to be a fucking moron. And the only other thing that I really had as far as news was concerned was about CDPR and Cyberpunk 2.
Yeah, so let's cover that. Also, I
Yep.
did send you a video in DMs, more from one of the James Bond YouTubers that kind of explains how the 007 First Light video game is like a major, basically like the whole branding deal and how that's been like a big thing in video games just in general. Um, we don't have to watch the whole thing, but I think it is interesting.
All right. All right. We'll actually check. I see the video. Let me just get past the first. Ad. No, actually, we'll go to that first because. Can you just see and hear it?
Hello
Yeah.
there, I'm Ryan, and welcome to my channel, Analyze This Mr. Bond, where I discuss the adventures of James Bond 007 and dig for what lies beneath the surface. Today we're digging into 2026, which may be a bigger year for James Bond than you're thinking. 2026 is just around the corner, and in March of that year, 007 First Light, the James Bond video game from the studio Interactive, will release. I think there's a bit of a generational divide in the Bond fan community about James Bond video games, but I think we're at a watershed moment culturally where video games are taking the spot that cinema used to hold in terms of cultural significance. The video game industry is larger than the current film industry, and the current film industry is in a slow decline. I don't think it's going away, but it's definitely changing shape where the video game industry is booming. 007 First Light is actually slated to be one of the most anticipated games of next year. In fact, it was nominated for most anticipated video game at the Video Game Awards. We'll see if it wins, but that speaks to the level of attention that is being given to this new James Bond game. This is a little bit different than the way Bond games have released in the past. It's been a long time since we've had a James Bond video game, and video games have changed a lot. This one is being treated as a true major tentpole, a real major gamble for IO Interactive. And it's also being treated with all the multimedia fanfare of a true James Bond film release. 007 First Light was in many ways the legacy project of Eon Productions before it handed over the creative reins to Amazon MGM. Eon Productions had been working closely with IO Interactive to help them shape this new video game, which is to be the first in a trilogy of stories about a young, developing James Bond at the start of his career. So it's effectively the first Bond reboot we're getting since Bond died at the end of No Time to Die. And it's carrying forward so much of what we came to recognize about the Eon Productions films. This game is being met with a level of brand awareness and product placement that is frankly unusual for video games. Video games are starting to gain momentum in terms of
I remember you
brand
saying that last week.
collaborations. You're seeing major brands like Hamilton start to put their watches into video games for promotion purposes. Seiko has been doing that for years, but now we're starting to see that more. And now in 007 First Light, we're seeing Omega promote this video game on its own social media channels as part of a collaboration between them and the makers of the video game. Orla Bar Brown, Aston Martin, Coca-Cola is involved in 007 First Light. There is so much major product placement being put into this game, and that was the first sign that this game was going to be something really, really big. And then the rumors started hitting that the title song for 007 First Light is actually going to be performed by Lana Del Rey, and that will be released next year. We've had Bond title songs for video games before, but we've never really had a song with the caliber of performer like Lana Del Rey, someone as culturally significant as Lana Del Rey. Lana Del Rey notably recorded a song for Spectre that was not used, her song 24. So if she is, in fact, doing the First Light theme song, which it seems like she is, then this is her opportunity to kind of fulfill that dream. The fact that she's going from an opportunity to do a real Bond film to a video game is interesting, but it also speaks to the caliber of the production for 007 First Light is what's about to drop. Fortnite, if you're not familiar, and you should be, because it's a cultural force to be reckoned with, Fortnite is a very important fixture in the video game landscape. If you really only know about a handful of games,
I'm gonna stop here real quick to kind of hammer this Fortnite topic home a little bit.
Yeah.
The Fortnite is the reason why most of the video game companies are so sought after and so adamant in trying to get a online multiplayer, always online game live service off the ground. They're all chasing a Fortnite. They don't care how much money they've got to fucking dump into a
Yeah.
Fortnite because of how much fucking dirty ass fucking money that Fortnite makes. I mean, hell, Fortnite basically put Epic on the map.
Yeah, and like I've actually never played Fortnite. Like I'm not saying that as like a snobby well I'm too good to play Fortnite or something. I just never have. I've never like had any interest to unless like someone I know were to like, invite me to play or something. But it is interesting how like I've seen ads for like various, Fortnite promotions. So
My biggest issue
It's
with
amazing to me.
go ahead, Mort. Go ahead, Mort.
No, go ahead.
Oh, my
No,
biggest issue. Sorry. Go for it, bud.
sorry, go ahead.
My biggest issue with I have played Fortnite, one of its many games. They did do a Halo Ring type of game, but I played the Japanese gun game. My problem with it was third person camera perspective. Other than that, it was pretty fun. Now they do third person on Halo Infinite, but I mean, some of the mini games on there aren't terrible. That's just my quick 30-second review on Fortnite. But I have seen what my kids play, and I wouldn't play all those games. But they have fun with it.
Yeah, I've also tried Fortnite a couple of times throughout the years. Usually with a group that I know from other games. Are like, hey, why don't we just jump on Fortnite and try to blow off Steam or whatever? And I'm like, and I almost immediately bounce off the game because I just can't get into it. And I think part of the reason why I don't like online squad based games or online shooters is because I'm so anti Fortnite because I can't stand it. And it annoys personally it annoys me how culturally significant Fortnite is, but there's literally nothing I can do about it.
yeah, I feel the same way. But like to kind of I kind of want to go back to an earlier point that Ryan, the guy in the video made. By the way, he's a friend of Terrence LaHue, who's a friend of
Nice.
the Whitfield report and one of the authors. I actually want to try and get this guy on the show. One of the things
That'd be
that I'm hoping 007 First Light does is, if it's done correctly, I'm really hoping that it will bring back like story-driven first person, you know, narrative games and make them like a thing again. We've kind of seen um it happen a little bit with like Mafia the Old Country. Like that was a terrific game. And I think like 007 First Light is trying to go for kind of like a similar vibe in terms of like, first person like shooter stuff. In terms of like, third person like action shooter style. I'm hoping that they do that and that they also forget about the weird like Hitman like online sync thing. Um, if they could just make like a good first person experience with like a competent story, I think it'll really like bring back getting to like what the three of us like. So
Yeah, wouldn't it be mostly about the campaign anyway, like the
You should.
storyline?
Fortnite is going to devote
yeah.
an entire season, which is about like a month-long event, to James Bond. They've already announced this. It's supposed to come at the end of this year, so it's probably going to coincide with the holiday season. We're going to get skins in the game that can let us be Pierce Brosnan, drive the Aston Martin DB5, some other things like that. And that is timed to keep building anticipation for 007 First Light, which is going to hit in March. To give you a sense of the significance of the audience that is participating in Fortnite, Fortnite has a monthly active user count of about 80 to 110 million. Sources disagree, but that's a substantial number when you consider that the number of tickets sold to Spectre in the United States and Canada during that film's release was only 23 million. The audience you get when you bring a property into the universe of Fortnite — they're currently doing a Simpsons promotion, but now they'll be doing Bond — is that you get a lot of eyeballs. The audience in Fortnite is massive, and that doesn't necessarily translate into broader phenomenon, but it shows the weight that video games hold in culture, the amount of importance it is for brands like James Bond in tapping into this world because the audience is there. It's a bigger audience than you have for most cinematic events. And so where I think that leaves us is that 007 First Light, if it is a true success like it's shaping up to be, if it is really the event its creators want it to be, it's going to leave a significant impact on the James Bond legacy. It's effectively the midway point between the Eon Productions era and the new Bond 26 that Amazon MGM is working on with writer Stephen Knight and director Denis Villeneuve to bring to screens in late 2028. As far as we understand, it's not officially confirmed, but reports have been that the next Bond film won't arrive until November of 2028. So this is the Bond event that we have to carry us through the next few years. And honestly, I think IO Interactive is knocking it out of the park. The advertising campaign for 007 First Light has been planned down to a T. There was such a long blackout period when we knew this video game was in the works, but once they started announcing it, the news has come out like clockwork. Advertisements have been coming out like clockwork. Brand announcements have been coming out like clockwork. This is a more highly calibrated promotional campaign for 007 First Light than we've seen for the past few Bond movies. It is so precise. If you are following it on social media and you're seeing the timing with which they're continually releasing new customizable outfits that your James Bond character can wear in the game, these unlockable outfits that are available if you pre-order the game, this set of very clear, deep-cut references to the Bond film canon, things like the skeleton outfit from Spectre's Day of the Dead opening, or things like the blue polo shirt look that we associate with Daniel Craig, to Bond's commander uniform from his naval days. All those things have been very precisely timed to build up momentum towards this game's release. And we haven't even hit the home stretch of promotion for 007 First Light. I don't even know what's going to be in store, especially when we have so much brand firepower behind it. We really don't know exactly what Omega is going to be doing for 007 First Light, whether it's going to be something as simple as just a watch strap like we've seen in the footage from the game, or a proper timed watch release with a particular chronograph as seen in the game footage. If so, that's pretty monumental. And I think the other thing you have to understand is that once the game releases, it's not like it's just out and then we don't talk about it anymore. IO Interactive, the studio behind this game, is really clever at adding consistent new content to their games to keep the player base engaged. They did that with their prior Hitman games to great acclaim. They had a long tail thanks to the continual content that was being added, this DLC downloadable content. Once 007 First Light hits in March, the base game is going to be there, but there's going to be more content. I guarantee you there's going to be, I don't want to speculate too heavily about what it is, but I'm sure we're going to start to hear inklings of that relatively soon.
He's not going to speculate, Sam, but I'm going to, as the Bond fan of the group, I'm going to ask you to speculate. What could you potentially see as the downloadable content, or whatever crossover from Bond's history to this game, and then through the promotional materials?
I mean, as far as like what's there's still a lot of footage that like we don't we only have the introduction, like we only have the like that 1 hour we only have like that half hour like cinematic gameplay trailer, but it like demonstrates the gameplay and whatnot. So it's a little
Right.
hard. It's a little hard to say for certain, but if I had to guess, one thing I would imagine, and this is based off of like what they did for what IO Interactive did for the Hitman like World of Assassination, because they've done some like promotions with that too. So like maybe they'll do like different DLC campaigns, and like one of them that I think would be really cool would be like if they brought back like maybe Pierce Brosnan to do a cameo
That's cool.
in like a in like a DLC type thing, or if they have like I know we're supposed to drive like the Aston Martin in some missions, but it would be really cool if we could like if we had like a DLC mission where we could drive like the classic Aston Martin from the 60s or something like that. Or to have like an option where you could like download different outfits, for Bond, stuff
Right.
like that. So I do know because they've advertised it, like if you pre-order the game, you're going to get the the golden gun, on like day one. So I know that'll be like DLC too. So, but yeah, other than that, it's really kind of hard to say for certain at this point. So
That's reasonable. Do you want to finish out the video, or have we hit what you wanted to see?
we've kind of hit more or less what I initially wanted you guys to see. But I mean, it's up to you. So, like I kind of said last week, like I'm curious with all this information, like what you think of all of like the product, placement and like all the hype around that.
I personally have no problem with product placement in games. It's just with the history and like history video games with the loss of licenses and whatnot. That's just where my mind immediately goes to. I'm like, but I would think with how heavy the marketing and the product placements are from what you're saying and what this gentleman is saying, it's going to be pretty key to the game. I would imagine that the deals for the product placements aren't going to be these super regulated, super time sensitive.
Yeah.
That is normally the problem.
My ultimate thing is like marketing aside and whatnot, right? They really have to make sure that this game is ready to go on day one.
On day one, can't have any issues. Definitely can't have a Cyberpunk 2077 type of launch.
Oh no, and the part of the reason why, I mean, that should be the rule for every single game. I've said that before, but
Oh yeah.
but I feel like especially for James Bond game, it's extra important for two reasons. One, because of the legacy of GoldenEye and how crucial that was in gaming, right?
Absolutely.
And then also the fact that we literally haven't had a James Bond game since the PS3 360 era in like
That's crazy.
2011. So this is like a long time coming. This is like supposed to be like a big return. And if they don't, if this somehow gets fucked up, well then it's not gonna
Then James Bond is fucked for another 20 years in gaming.
pretty much, or maybe longer. So I'm trying to remain cautiously optimistic, I guess.
And definitely something that us as a podcast should be definitely at least keeping an eye on as the release date comes up next year.
Yep. So, hey, if anyone wants to donate PlayStation gift cards to the Whitfield Report, I swear I'm not doing an Indian scam thing. I just really want like to be able to pre-order the game and whatnot with PlayStation. So, but anyway, anything else more?
Well, I wanted to get over to Cyberpunk 2 real quick.
Yep.
Because it came out earlier this week in the CDPR financial call that that Cyberpunk 2077 has hit 35 million copies sold faster than The Witcher 3 did. And that's not players. That, again, I have to repeat, copy, because some other companies have played shitty with concurrent players and whatnot. But no, literal copies sold. Uh, Cyberpunk is one of 5 CDPR games currently in development, and the studio has offered some new insight on its status. Previously known as Project Orion, Cyberpunk 2 will follow events of the smash hit 2077, but exact details are incredibly scarce. Screenland previously reported numerous Cyberpunk 2 jobs are open, and now from Word CDPR appears to confirm assumptions about the game's current development state. According to the financial briefing by CDPR via IGN, teams working on Cyberpunk 2 around the globe are scaling up in staff. CDPR's Boston, Warsaw, and Vancouver are specifically adding more development personnel to the project, uh, ramping up into pre-production as the company continues laying the foundation for a Cyberpunk 2 and expects hiring to continue through the next 2 calendar years. And Cyberpunk 2 isn't really expected to really be released anywhere before 2028 at the absolute earliest, because there are reportedly other games ahead in the CDPR's schedule. Where is it? Official updates from CDPR Cyberpunk 2 are few and far between. Principal development efforts have been focused on The Witcher 4, which this past summer starred in the Unreal Engine tech demo. At the end of July 2025, 116 people were working on Cyberpunk 2. By the end of October, 3 months later, there are 135 developers. And we go over here. Another article that I got.
So can I ask you something
Yep.
real quick,
Absolutely.
Mort?
Yep.
So as the CDPR guy in general, would you rather that the company focus on Cyberpunk 2 and just get rid of The Witcher 4, or
That answer is kind of complicated because before their only studio was in Warsaw, Poland, but now that they've expanded into Boston and Vancouver, they kind of have set. I guess you can call them satellite studios where they can push off some of the development onto other parts of the company now, and it's not all hands on deck in one specific location.
right?
So, personally, I'm okay with them branching off into multiple products at the same time because they've expanded.
I just know that there are some people who feel like, well, The Witcher was mainly Geralt's story, and so
Right.
like, why even do like why even do like a Witcher 4? That story is, like that franchise is kind of like over.
And I can see that take because you're right. Witcher 3, especially with the Blood and Wine expansion, that was blatantly stated that is the end of Geralt's story. And don't get me wrong, the game set up Siri to take over. But
Right.
uh, I don't know how you would have Siri take over. Uh, Being a character from the Witcher franchise and not name it some sort of like Witcher Tales type of title.
Yeah, I just I don't know. I mean, like the other thing too, I understand game development takes a long time these days, right?
Yeah,
But it's like it's like shit. I may be close to 40 by the time like we get Cyberpunk 2.
Shit, I'll be close to 50 at that point.
Yeah.
Gonna be fucking crazy, absolutely. I'm like, and then that's part of the reason why I'm okay with them having three stated studios now. So maybe we actually get these games ahead of what we're expecting to, as long as they do things properly and don't fucking rush things up the goddamn door.
Right.
I normally don't like using IGN as a source because fuck gaming journos. But Cyberpunk has sold a whopping 35 million copies. CDPR announced in their earnings call earlier this week. Sales of the 5-year-old sci-fi action game RPG boosted recently by the release on Nintendo Switch 2 as well as on Mac. Reporting its latest financial results, confirmed that Cyberpunk 2077 reached 35 million copies ahead of The Witcher 3 in the same time period since its release. That's kind of crazy to me, especially with how disastrous that fucking launch was. How it's outpacing Witcher 3. That's insane.
Yeah, that's kind of insane to me too, not gonna lie.
And that's kind of why I wanted to bring it up. I'm like, how? Especially for the great better part of like 2.5 years, it was pulled from PlayStation Store.
Oh yeah, I know.
But no, I didn't really want to go too far into this because we don't really know too much about Cyberpunk 2. But the fact that Cyberpunk 2077 is legit sold 35 million copies can't be understated, unfortunately. Whether you like the company or not, it's like that's a shocking number, especially because they're not playing fast and loose like other companies and saying concurrent players or players on such and such a platform. Because really they could do the Ghost of Yotai thing and say concurrent players on X platform because GOG is their own damn platform.
Yeah.
It's just as much as of a fan of CDPR as I am with Witcher 3 and Cyberpunk, it's kind of mind blowing.
Well, here's kind of my whole thing with gaming, right? Like, there needs to be a happy medium. Like, I don't mind them taking like 5 years to develop a game. Like, that's not unreasonable, right?
But
I
you
think.
can't do the Bethesda and thing and pull and develop a game for fucking 15 goddamn years.
Well, yeah, there's that, but then there's the other extreme, right, where we get EA with Madden and then Activision with COD, where they
Right, you pump out a game every year.
where they pump out, and it's like, okay, like I liked COD Cold, I liked Black Ops Cold War. Black Ops 6 was meh. It was okay, but that game is less than a year old, and we're already getting like COD 7, and it has aliens and shit, and AI, and used to make the game.
Right, they just don't give their games enough time to breathe.
Yeah, it's like It's like, come on, guys. There is a happy medium.
Right. Yeah, like you're saying, I would have no problem with the average uh, pr- production of and development of a game of anywhere between 4 to 6 years.
Yeah, I mean, like that. That was the game cycle of like the PS2. And like Xbox era. Same with the PS3, 360 era.
Right. But that's really all that I had this week as far as gaming news. Was the game trailer and 35 million copies of Cyberpunk. Like, I knew they would eventually get there as far as that number, but because the Witcher 3 is last check at last was like 60 million, and it's a 10-year-old game.
Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy to think. And yet, like, I still see game footage for like that and Batman Arkham Knight, which is 10 years old as well.
And it's
So,
still some of the best graphics that we still see to this day.
holy shit, yes. Same with like Red Dead Redemption 2 came out in like 2018 and it it looks fantastic. And I know people are like, "Oh, it only runs at 30 FPS." And like for people like Max, maybe some of you can tell the difference, but I can't. So,
There's a few times that I can tell the difference, but other than that, I have no problem with a game running at 30, as long as we're not like using so many uh, yeah, uh, computer resources where it makes the damn thing chug. I'd rather have a 30 FPS game that runs smoothly than a 60 that
right.
makes the game fucking burn up a machine.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that's where everyone is at pretty much.
But yeah, that's what I had this week. Just kind of a wrap up of the holiday week, and gonna kind of be like Mort's an old man, yay, kind of shit. Because
Welcome to the old man club.
right? Because the show night actually landed on my birthday this year, so I was like, yeah, we're gonna put that in the title just to toot my own horn.
Hey,
Nice.
you deserve it, man. You help out with the Whitfield report every week. I really appreciate it. And yeah, I'm sorry that Mac. I thought more people would show up, but I appreciate Joe coming out to help.
Absolutely, Joe. Talk to everybody next week. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining as always. Talk to everybody next week.
All right,
Adios.
later, Gators.